Property Show. I'm Jayashree Kurupam, editor, MBTV, and I've come to you with a very special show today. Magic Bricks has done an extensive survey and come out with a consumer sentiment index. And discussing that with me are two very special guests, our CEO, Sudhir Pai. Sudhir, welcome to the show. And I have with me Surabhi Arora. She is the head of research on Magic Bricks, the person who has actually done the survey, analyzed the details, and come up with what the survey shows. So, Sudhir, first of all, what trends did Magic Bricks notice when we were talking, when post COVID, and why did we commission the survey? What is it that triggered the commission of the survey?
Okay, thank you, Jayashree, and a warm hello to the viewers of MBTV. First of all, hope that you, your families, and your colleagues are keeping safe. Despite the lockdown being lifted, this COVID pandemic is here to stay for a while. So I'd urge you to continue to take all due precautions and stay safe. My very best wishes to you on this front. Now, to answer Jayashree's question, let me begin by first providing some context. It is a big and important industry. With a size of over $125 billion, it employs over 50 million people and contributes over 6% of GDP. This is an important industry, not merely because it's a big driver to GDP growth, but more from an ability to create more new jobs, which is critical to a country like ours. Additionally, for most middle and upper middle class families, it is common to have over 50% of their net worth being invested into real estate. Therefore, how this industry performs and the impact of COVID on this business would be of immense interest, not only to participants from within the industry, but well beyond that as well. Now, if you look at how the industry has performed more recently, there have been several silver linings in the last year or two. Commercial real estate, for instance, has had one of its best years last year. The PG and the co-living businesses have been on a tear for the last 18 months. The rental segment is also growing at a healthy clip. However, today's discussion is largely around home buying, so we will restrict ourselves to this segment. Now, if you see primary real estate, this has been sluggish for about 5 years now. Transactions are still down 20% from a peak in 2015. Prices have been flattish in this period. New launches have fallen. And at last count, there were over 6 lakh units of unsold stock in the business even now. Further, with the NBFC crisis, a key source of funding has slowed down, putting pressure on the ability of the industry to service its debt and to raise fresh capital. Now, these were some of the headwinds that the industry was facing, and this was before the COVID pandemic hit. Now, when you want to understand the impact of COVID on the industry, you would want to evaluate it on 3 different fronts. What is the impact on consumer demand? What was the impact, or what will be the impact on account of liquidity issues and managing short-term costs for the industry? And finally, the impact on various input costs, such as land, labor, and construction material. Today's discussion is around the impact on demand and how demand is likely to trend over time. Now, when we speak to people within the industry, there seem to be 3 questions upmost in everybody's mind. 1, how long will it take for demand to recover to some semblance of normalcy again? 2, how much is the short-term expected impact on demand and therefore on transactions? And 3, what are the mitigants and triggers to be able to tide over the current situation? Now, we've attempted to provide specific, quantifiable answers to these questions. And to do this, we've done an exhaustive survey with consumers who are searching for homes. We've done a large quant study with over 1,900 respondents and a deeper qualitative study with a smaller set of buyers. Now, we understand that the situation remains fluid, demand trends are likely to continue to evolve. So there is a plan to do a repeat comparative study after a few months. Now, we hope that the output of these studies helps provide early signals to industry participants and to you MBTV users to be able to plan your course of action suitably on the demand side. Thank you. Stay safe. Back to you, Jayashree.
Thanks, Sudhir. That was a good opening setting. And let's go over to Surabhi. Surabhi, let's figure out what the data show, right? Surabhi, can you hear me? I think we're having some technical issues. Surabhi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you, Surabhi. So let's tell our consumers what the data show.
Okay, so let me explain a bit about the profile of the survey respondents before we go into detailed analysis. We conducted this survey in the second and third week of April, and we received more than 1900 responses. People from all geographies responded to the survey. Around 21% respondents were from Delhi NCR, 27% from South cities, and 20% from MMR region. And rest 32% were from all over the country. Similarly, people of almost all age groups participated in the survey. More than half of our respondents were first time buyers, and 76% were salaried, while 81% were looking to buy property for self use. So now let's talk about a little bit about the consumer sentiment. Aman, can you go to the next slide? So we all can agree that overall consumer sentiment is low in the market, and it is reflected in our survey too. About 33% of the respondents are planning to either hold or drop their purchase plan. But the silver lining is that 67% are still planning to buy. Interestingly, the drop rate is higher among Gen Z. Gen Z is actually the people who born after 90s, with almost 50% of them are planning to either hold or drop their purchase plan. The survey also indicate a budget cut across the age groups, with 73% likely to decrease the budget. In my opinion, the extent of budget cut is directly correlated with the individual income projections, and this will also depend on how soon the economy will recover from this crisis. Next slide, please. We also analyze the buying timeline, and looks like the lockdown had pushed the purchasing plans at least 6 to 9 months ahead. Pre-COVID, around 56% of the respondents were either shortlisted or were actively looking to buy property within 6 months. Now, if we see the red line, it shows that about 25% are still looking to buy within 3 to 6 months. This shift in timeline can be primarily attributed to the uncertainty associated with the lockdown period.
So, Suji, what we notice is that people still want to buy. Many are first-time buyers. A lot of salaried buyers. Can you also now tell us what are the deciding factors for the consumer?
Yeah, sure. So when we asked our respondents about the key deciding factors in their property purchase, price and income stability emerge as a critical consideration. Attractive deals and discounts are also mattering to people, but only after price and income stability. If we talk about return on equity, ROI, that has actually taken a back seat in people's mind for the time being right now. Similarly, cheaper loans, which are generally considered as a supply side push, despite being all-time home loan low home loan rates, I think it will take some time to trigger the purchase. Timely completion is also an important criteria, but I think most of the respondents are now planning to mitigate this risk by buying ready-to-move-in properties. Similarly, we also ask the respondents what are their top challenges in buying property post-COVID. So here also, price uncertainty emerge as a top obstacle, while documentation, registration, paperwork, visiting the site, these all remain the secondary challenges for the buyer. So the ultimate question is what buyer is looking for. And we have come up with some interesting facts. Next slide, please. So it is very evident, there is a clear preference for ready property, as 84% of the buyers are only interested in ready to move properties. Although few of them are open to buy ready property in under construction projects, but people prefer ready projects. Buyers also prefer primarily gated projects in proximity to their office, schools, workplace, etc. Uh, One interesting thing from the survey, now proximity to hospitals has become an important criteria to most of them. So when we talk about this, 84% of the buyers only looking for ready to move in properties, there is a clear gap between different cities. So Mumbai and NCR, the preference for ready to move in is going as high as 90%, while in South City, the percentage is relatively lower, around 65 to 70%.
So clearly,
we also created a buyer's wish list.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we created a buyer's wish list also. And not surprisingly, can we have a slide, please? Next slide. And not surprisingly, price decrease ranked first. 67% of the respondents wish for more than 15% discount. Also, buyers are looking for relaxed financial terms, semi-furnished apartments with woodwork, kitchen work, online paperwork, etc., just to ease the post-purchase effort. In my opinion, developers are likely to pass on the benefit in the form of deals and discounts on an immediate basis, but I am not looking any price cut from the developers in at least some time frame. Now, as the price points have come up as a major deciding factor, we also run an analysis on Magic Bricks listing data. So, can we have next slide, please? So, we compared our YOY price change with the last month price change. The yearly number shows 3 to 15% increase in prices, which is a testimony for the fact that pre-COVID market was recovering. But the listing price, if I see within 1 month, it has decreased by 2 to 9%. Cities like Hyderabad and Ahmedabad were the one which has seen the most price decline. But at the same time, these were the cities which were doing really relatively well in terms of price increase. Similarly, we also checked which cities are going to recover fast. So our survey indicates that IT cities are more likely to recover fast, as the respondent shows a little lesser delay in their purchasing plan in this respect. So having said that, more than price decrease, what I believe that price discovery will remain a bigger challenge in coming months. We can expect a gap between the expectation of buyers and sellers, because earlier also when demonetization happened and when this kind of crisis comes, most of the time buyers expect price discount of around 25-30%. I'm hearing people looking for 30%, above 30% discount, and while sellers usually don't go beyond 5-10% of discount. So I think the major problem will remain as a price discovery. So this was about the survey. Over to you, Jashi.
Surbi, a couple of things that I'd like to discuss with you. Let's remain on price. This is a very price sensitive market at this point of time, right? And when you say that most of the consumers, especially in the NCR and the MMR region, they're looking to buy properties that are complete, it clearly shows that the consumer doesn't want the risk of delay. He wants to pass on the risk of delay to the developer and doesn't want to take that risk on his side, right?
Right. Yeah. So see,
if that is,
it's not.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so it's the risk of delay of project was already there in the market, but because of the pandemic, I believe the risk has little bit increased because people are seeing a lot of people are going back, a lot of migrants are going back. So there will be, we are expecting that construction will start, but at the same time, it will take some time.
Right.
So that is the reason probably people are more worried about delay of the project and they are looking for ready to move in property.
Right. And especially when you have been locked in, the fact that you have your own house to remain safe in seems to be a big factor, right?
Exactly. This is an interesting fact that while people are looking for budget cut, but they are inclined for buying because the house, I talk to some people also. So they say there is no pressure from any landlords to pushing them out or for the rent, but it's still when they have house ownership, home ownership, it gave a sense of security because now it's almost 1.5 months they are at home. So a lot of people are looking to buy.
Right. You also mentioned price discovery. Can you elaborate that a little more for the consumers?
So, okay, when I said price discovery is a problem in the market right now, so generally what happens when, there is a difference in expectation from buyers and sellers, then closure of the deal become a problem. So, for example, a person is looking for 25-30% discount, but sellers are still holding the price and they are not going beyond 5-10% of discount, then it widens the gap. So that's why it becomes very difficult to understand where will the market go, how will the price decrease will happen. So that was the point I was making on price discovery.
In fact, we find some of the developers in the MMR region, they have started telling the consumers that there is a price protection policy that they are offering, which means that today you can put your money down, a 5-10% discount, 5-10%, and book a booking amount. But if the prices actually come down, if the developer lowers the prices, say 6 months, 8 months down the line because of market conditions, the buyer is being promised that you will not be cheated. You will also get the benefit of the lower prices, but don't let that stop you from making the booking amount. So that seems to be clearly price sweeteners are something that are going to change the markets. Sudhir, I'm going to come back to you. So what does Magic Bricks think is the future of this industry? I mean, we are still in lockdown, just about out of it. But how do we see the future, and what is your advice to consumers?
Look, I think thanks to the study, we now have a good handle on what the consumers are thinking, and we know what the mood of the consumer is. So we don't need to speculate on this. And if I just look at the key takeaways of the study, I think the good news is that 2/3 of the buyers are still in the market. One would have expected a much larger impact than this, but I think that's a huge silver lining that 2/3 of the buyers are still staying back. But what the buyers are also saying is that we might take longer to decide, or we might marginally shrink our budgets from what we were thinking earlier. So I think that's on the buyer side. Now, I think a lot will depend on what sellers actually choose to do or choose not to do. Now, being static may not be necessarily a good strategy. So if sellers respond with very progressive consumer facing actions, right? So things like what you just spoke of, price guarantee or price reduction in the short term, or maybe selling the kind of units that would actually move in today's kind of markets, right? Or developers who hold more under construction inventory as compared, more inventory as compared to under construction inventory. I think then you will see transactions moving. I think it's time for the sellers to be more buyer centric, meet the needs of the buyer, capitalize on the fact that 2/3 of the buyers are still in the market and they're looking for the right kind of triggers to buy. Should that happen, I think we will see a recovery a lot earlier than otherwise.
While we have been discussing, there are a lot of queries that have been coming in, and let's take some of the queries. This actually gives you a window into the mind of the consumer. One is, Surbhi, directly to you. Udayan Mane has asked, have you included Pune in your research? Would you like to talk about the Pune leg of the research? Surbhi, are you there? I think we've lost Surbhi. She'll shortly be joining us. But Sudhir, I'm going to come. Would you like to?
Let me take that.
Yeah.
I think study across most of the Tier 1 markets. Pune was very much included. Yeah. The study was, if I'm not wrong, across 12 different cities. So yes, Pune has been covered. So I have all the large metros.
Yeah. So Udayan Mane, if you want to know more about that, do write into Magic Bricks. And if you don't have another ID, you can write to editor@magicbricks.com. We'll pass it on to our research team, and you can continue the conversation. There is another query: are we seeing trends of price discounts from developers in this lockdown period? Now, Sudhir, it's not so much as price discounts as sweeteners, I think, right?
So look, I think the same study pointed out, we saw some data on Magic Bricks in the month of April. We seem to be seeing 9% reduction in prices posted by different kinds of sellers. Now, all sellers are not developers. We have developers who post properties, we have owners and landlords who post properties, and we have agents. So if you take a weighted average, we are seeing a 2 to 9% kind of price reduction. And we see this as short-term reaction to but you're probably right. Now, see, real estate, at least the primary market, has been sluggish for 5 years now. We haven't seen prices go down. Yeah. What we have seen is prices remaining flat or marginally increasing in this period. Now, for the consumer, it's actually a price reduction, because when you adjust for inflation, you're actually buying homes a lot cheaper today than you were 5 years ago. But prices haven't technically fallen. So I think developers will, at least the smart developers, will give good deals to serious consumers who are able to prove that they intend to transact. And more of that should happen in the short term. But speaking to several trade partners, it doesn't appear that we are in for a price crash, at least not yet.
Yeah. In fact, the sale price, when it's very close to the cost of production, that is when you know that there is not so much leverage that you have. Maybe a 5-7% leverage, which is what Surbi has noticed, that there has been a drop in listing prices. But one of the interesting things, when all the industry greats have been talking to the industry, there was Deepak Parekh of HDFC and Rajneesh Kumar of SBI, both of whom held very, very critical seminars, where they did tell the people, tell the industry, don't hold on to ready and completed stock in the hope that it will sell at the price that you want. If you maintain liquidity, so even if you have to drop prices by 10 to 20% on completed stock, drop the prices and liquidate your stock. But nowhere have they indicated that the market prices are going to crash. Nowhere. Nobody has indicated that market prices are going to crash. Surbi, you want to comment a little bit on the price?
I totally agree with Jayashree that nobody is indicating a price crash. And generally, when this kind of pandemic or any crisis comes, people start speculating about the price cut. But we have seen in the past that real estate is holding the ground. And another point is that there is very less room for any price cut. As rightly Sudhir said, that the prices are almost stagnant for some time. Not some time, I will say 4-5 years is a long period of time when the prices are stagnant. So definitely, I am not looking any immediate price cut from the developers. And another thing, I think they can sweeten the deal for some discounts. They can facilitate the market better. That is, I am expecting from the market.
Yeah, and I think Swati Verma Kant, this will answer your question, will the property of price depreciate? Prices, you have to be realistic. 5 years, prices have been stable. And like Surbi and Sudhir have both said, there may be small sweetness that will happen for completed property, but will the markets crash? Maybe not. There will be more offtake. In fact, one of the things we've noticed is demand is going up, right, Surbi? Uh, Again, we lost Sudhir, but Sudhir, about demand going up, we are noticing demand.
Yes.
Look, I think if you see the survey findings as well as some search trends on Magic Bricks, I think the survey pointed to about
I can't hear you, Jayashree. So can you come back with the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that we are seeing a stability of demand, which is positive for the industry, right?
Yeah, okay. So I was saying about regarding the demand. So third of the respondents are still looking to buy, and we did some in-depth analysis, also in-depth conversation with some of the buyers. And what I feel that home ownership has become important, right? Now, when you are buying a home, then going for a discount of 5-10% generally is not a very big trigger, because once you decide it as a buyer, if you decided, because it's going to be a lifetime investment in that particular property. So I think from the demand perspective, the market is still quite strong, the fundamentals are strong. Secondly, RARA has come last 2-3 years, and that has given a confidence to the buyers that even though if there is a delay because of pandemic, the projects are going to be completed. And developers are also making efforts. So if I see everybody in the market, all the stakeholders are trying to help the buyers right now.
Right. Sudhir, you want to continue with what you were saying?
No, I think I'll add to what Surabhi said. She articulated it well. I mean, I think the survey is pointing out, we're seeing that on search trends on Magic Bricks as well, which is about a third of the buyers seem to be keen to exit the market. 2/3 will stay. So to that extent, you will find a little less buyers than what they were a couple of months ago. But that said, I'll just add one more point. I mean, the number of people who are searching for properties in the market are about 6 to 7 times more than the number of people who are actually transacting. Right? So a lot of people on the fringes who are checking out properties but not really buying. I think the industry needs to get smarter at how to convert all of that. I think there is a lot of latent demand. It was there even pre-COVID. It's there even today. And if I think as industry, as different sellers, if we are smart enough to convert that demand, we will see some transactions bounce back much earlier than what it will otherwise be.
Okay, there is Deepak who's asking, are we seeing a trend of price discounts from developers in this lockdown period? Not really. Are we seeing a lot of price discounts? Developers offering discounts? Are we seeing that?
No, I don't think so. Any price discount have come yet. There are, as you rightly said, there are the price protection has come. That if the prices will go, if you book now and later on the prices come down, they will reduce the price. But at the same time, there is no indication anybody is, reducing the price so far.
Would you also like to tell the consumers what is the advantage of booking it today? Like they're saying book today at certain price, and if the prices come down, we'll protect the price. But what is the advantage of booking today?
So
Surbi, can
what
you hear me?
I believe this is the right time to do your homework. Well research the project you are investing in. If you find the deal is attractive, if you are finding deal is attractive, I think you can take the developer offer. But at the same time, I think you should utilize your time, the lockdown period, if you are looking for home buying, to do some search, to check the track records of the developer, to check whether he liquidate enough to complete the projects. Right? You can also compare. Now, a lot of websites are there who are comparing projects, who are giving a lot of information, including videos and photos. Generally, we don't have that much of time, so this time can be utilized for that research. And then once you are confirmed that okay, these are the options, I think you can take and go ahead with the booking, because the booking amount is also very less. It is just 10 to 15,000 in some cases.
Also, I think if you book today, you get the best units. Even though there will be more properties out there, the corner flats, the east-facing flats, the Vastu-friendly flats, maybe those are the ones that the early buyers get, right, Sudeep?
Jayashree, sorry, just repeat that again.
If you book today, one of the advantages is that you get the best units, the east-facing units, the corner units. You know what is more in demand. Those premium units seem to be the ones that get picked up first.
Well, that would be true in any project which is launched, isn't it? The early consumers get their pick of the best inventory. So that would be one of the upsides of going in early when a project is launched, right? But I'll just add one little thing to what Surabhi said, which is, look, home buying is not an impulse purchase, right? It's often a decision which you take after thinking of several years ahead. I'm talking of end users here. So therefore, to that extent, I think Surabhi is absolutely right that if you've really found a property that you've liked, if the prices seem reasonable to you, then you should. There's little for you to delay, especially if the developer is also guaranteed a price protection. That said, the limited point I would put is it's more a buyer's market today. In fact, even more than it was 2 months ago, and it's been a buyer's market for a while. So it might pay for the buyer to do homework thoroughly. I would say haggle a bit for a deal as well, because in today's market, chances are the chips are more loaded in favor of the buyer, and the buyer should seek to gain out of the current situation.
I have a number of questions about localities. How is the locality? How critical is the locality in terms of the factors that lead you to decide on a home? Surbi,
It's 12 o'clock.
Surbi, you want to take that?
Yes, definitely. So location is something very important in home buying. And whenever we plan to buy, for especially for self-use, then location become very important with respect to the schools, the proximity to workplaces, the proximity to hospitals also nowadays after the pandemic. So location is very important. location is a very important and critical part. Now, generally, why somebody go to the outskirts and buy the property because of the affordability. But then again, generally people look for the connectivity of that location. So location is actually the most important part of a buying process. So definitely, if you are looking to buy a property, decide the location with respect to your working this thing, and the location is actually
I think we had a slight technical problem with Surbhi's side. I don't know, there was a slight lag. But what Surbhi has said is that see that it's near your workplace, see that there's good connectivity, go for affordability, go for the quality of that neighborhood. These are some of the things that you should look for when it comes to localities, right? So, do you want to add anything to that, or shall I go to the next question?
I think those points are well made. The one other thing that I might want to add is this. I think our data, Prop Index, for example, has also shown over the last 4-5 years that while prices have been flattish, when you look at a market level or at a national level, at a micro market level, it's not necessarily so. There are several micro markets that have actually performed well. So do your research thoroughly, because there are some cities like Hyderabad where actually prices have risen quite sharply over the same period of time, whereas several other cities have been flat. There are micro markets where prices are up 40-50% in the last 4-5 years. So when you do please do your research as well on prices and on markets where demand outstrips supply, because those markets are likely to do better.
I've got Shilpi who's asking, would you like to tell me something more about Greater Noida, decrease in demand of under construction houses? Shilpi, again, it's a question of under construction versus ready to move in, especially in a market like Greater Noida. Would you like to take that question?
So see, it totally depends.
Ish-
When you select for under construction and ready to move in project, it depends what you are looking for. If you are looking for an investment for long term, then definitely under construction is a better bet in terms of return. If you are looking for self-use and you are looking for self-use within a year or so, I think near completion projects are better to invest in. Generally, under construction projects are 10 to 15% cheaper than the ready projects. So it totally depends on somebody's requirement, that they are looking for. Under construction projects with a good developer, like renowned developer with a good solid track record with RERA in place, I think they are best bet if from the investment perspective.
Is there any sweet time that you should buy, maybe 6 months from completion or 8 months from completion? Is there something like that that you would like to tell people?
So I would say, generally, if you are looking for a ready property, it is the best time when the developer has offered the flats for registry. This is the best time to buy, because after that, it take only 3 to 6 months for that project to complete. So if you are looking for a ready property, instead of going for a fully operational project, you can go for those projects where developer is offering registration. So those are the projects, ready projects, that can offer you some kind of discounts.
Sudhir, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think those points are well made.
Fine. There is Ravi who says a recent survey by LinkedIn shows that IT employees are concerned with regard to their job safety. And considering this, do you think that IT-driven markets are going to get hit, or the demand would get impacted? Whereas your survey actually showed that IT-driven cities are the ones where we expect the markets to go up.
So I would like to say in this, if I talk about the general sentiment, yes, the people are planning to delay their plan, but the drop is only 9%. So there is not much drop from the plan. Ultimately, people are going to buy their own houses. In IT cities, I would say it is like a little quick market where generally people they are millennials working, so their decision is quick. Right now, probably they are planning for delay in project, but if the economy survive and everything become okay in next 3 to 4 months, they will again plan for buy. So they are the market which show the quick results in terms of decrease and in terms of increase also.
Actually, I would like to again bring in something that I heard from Deepak Parekh, where he said that this opportunity right now is very similar to a Y2K opportunity for India to shine, because there is going to be, I mean, we've switched from a industrial revolution kind of setup to a very IT oriented economies across the world. And here, India's opportunity is very high, and therefore, even while it seems like IT jobs may be impacted and so on, what Deepak Parekh suggests is that for India and India's IT employees, this is almost like a Y2K kind of opportunity where Indian IT can shine. So, what Surbhi says and the optimism that she shows in IT-driven markets seems to be very, very much in line with what some of the experts are speaking. There is a question here from Meet Joshi, Meet Doshi, who says overall response while discussing with brokers and builders, they are saying wait and watch after the lockdown and saying the resident ready to move in property will be on demand, while under construction property demand may decrease. The same in commercial. What is the view on this? I think Subi has just addressed this about under construction and ready to move in, and how registration ready properties is something that Subi has said you should be looking for. You want to add anything more to it, Subi? Do you want to add anything? Then let me go on. There is Hari.
Depend on the investment priority of a project.
Right. There is Hari Krishnan who says, how is Chennai's prospects post-COVID? Now, this is a query that is coming again and again on our Magic Bricks, whichever shows we do, the prospects of Chennai. Is there any insights that you would like to share? Because a lot of people seem to be asking this.
So, like any other cities, Chennai market is also quite IT driven. So, I think if we talk about Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, then Chennai is also included in those IT cities. So, Chennai prospects is good, and we will see the market recovering faster than Mumbai and Delhi.
Okay, that's good for those who are looking for Chennai, because Chennai is a repeated phenomenon. Again and again, consumers are asking what is going to happen to the Chennai market. A little slow right now, but Surbhi's assessment is that like any other IT-driven market, and remember, it also has manufacturing, and Indian manufacturing is expected to go up. So Chennai's prospects, Surbhi gives it a thumbs up.
Yeah, actually, if I may add, I think Chennai's time is due. If I look at an analogy of Hyderabad, if you look at the last 5 years, I know that 5 years ago, the Hyderabad market was not necessarily in good shape, right? There were much fewer transactions. The market prices had actually slightly fallen. And then it's been the last 2 years, thanks to, I think, a lot of job creation and due to, I think, the markets having been sluggish for 2-3 years before that, we've seen a strong pickup. I think Chennai has gone through a very similar trajectory, and I think Chennai's time is due in time.
Okay, so Magic Bricks gives Chennai a thumbs up. We expect Chennai's market to do well. There is Neha who says, can you suggest anything about the Noida market where a lot of ready stock is available? Do you see prices coming down there? Now, the NCR market and the MMR market are two markets which are very similar. There is a lot of stock. There is the prices are high. What do you think is your recommendation for Noida and the MMR market?
I think Noida is the best market to look right now if you are especially looking for Delhi NCR. There is a lot of ready inventories available. The prices are affordable. Noida is very well connected with all the commercial hubs. Its connectivity has improved many-fold to Gurgaon also. So even if you are living in Noida and working in Gurgaon, because of the metro connectivity, it is possible now. So I think with a lot of ready inventory in hand, Noida market is likely to pick up, and I think buyers should look for this market.
For discounts. Okay. Maulik is asking, do you think builders will change focus to tier 2 and tier 3 markets as there is more liquidity in those markets and because they are less affected by the pandemic? Now, link it right back to the COVID. Surbi, I can't hear
So
you.
I think, right now,
Okay.
currently, the developer focus is to complete the project. I don't see people running to tier 2 and tier 3 cities just because the pandemic has come. So most of the focus will be completion of the project, so on. But at the same time, I don't see this happening. And it also depends where you have land banks. Real estate is not something that, okay, if I'm not getting profit in this market, I will quickly run away to other market. So I think focus will remain tier 1 cities because a lot of jobs are here, a lot of people are migrating in these cities. So focus will always be tier 1, and then some of the tier 2 cities where there is increased manufacturing activities are happening. I think those are the cities where developers will focus.
Right. Surbi, let's come back to the three critical things that you spoke about in the survey that we found in the survey. One is that ready to move in properties. Two is that IT-driven cities are expected to do well, and three is that it is a price-sensitive market and price sweeteners may be important. Now, I'm going to go to Maulik, who says that while people are still buying properties at 2015 prices, a lot of people believe in the security an asset provides. And the research shows that prospective buyers want reduction in prices. Do builders have a need to look at resizing the properties? Does the size matter? Price we have talked about. Does the size also matter?
Yes, definitely. See, if we see last 5 years, so prices are stagnant in terms of per square feet prices, but the investment ticket size is reducing over the period of time. So now the flats are, for example, in Noida, earlier 1100 square feet is the average 2 BHK size. Now, if you go to Greater Noida and new projects, it's 900. In some cases, it's around in down for a consumer, and that's how they are trying to make property affordable.
Right. We have a very large number of queries that are still pouring in, so we'll have to take a call. How many more? Maybe we'll take the next three questions more, which are relevant to the discussion. So, did you want to say something before that?
No, I think we'll take the last set of questions, Jayashree, and wrap
Yes.
this up.
And more or less, I think the questions are on the same lines. But let me take the last three. Deepankar Saxena, who says, "Will the new buying take a hit because of delay in delivery due to COVID?" Um, Surbi, there have been some policy announcements as well. Would you like to take that?
So, see, this is a pandemic situation, right? There is a complete stop on the construction activity. So definitely we are expecting some kind of delay. But at the same time, I would say the intent of most of the developers is to complete the project. So as soon as we will recover from this pandemic, I expect the construction will resume. And because there will be demand for ready properties, so most of the developers will quickly try to complete their projects.
All right. There is these are the last two questions of the day. We do have a lot of queries. We'll give it back to Surbi and we'll post the answers from Surbi back on our site. But I'll take the last two questions. Sunny Sabran, who says, any survey which shows intent bifurcation between the buyer and the intent of investment and first time. Surbi, you did have some this thing on intent of buying. Are they buying it for self-use? Is it a first-time buyer?
Okay, so our respondents, if I talk about respondents, so around 80% were looking for self-use because market is quite end-user driven for last 2-3 years. The investors are still in wait and watch mode. And I think after the pandemic as well, we believe that investor will remain little cautious before investing huge amount in the property. But at the same time, end users are the first one who will return the market.
Right. So it is the end users who are going to return. Our last query for the day, Abhinay Soni, who says, will there be any sweetener correction with regard to GST and stamp duty charges? Basically, Surbi, there are a lot of people have asked about registration charges, stamp duty charges, GST charges. The government has been making many announcements. Would you like to make a final comment on this?
So yes, definitely, Jayashree. So the government is actually trying to help, and in the past also they have given some stimulation package also to us. Regarding the stamp duty rationalization, that India is looking for, because land is a state subject. That is the reason it is taking time to rationalize the stamp duty, and different states have different kind of stamp duties right now. But I think there is a room for reduction of registration charges and stamp duty across India.
So there is
And
a
it is, right now I don't have any news from government, but at the same time it is trying to reduce.
Yeah. Stamp duty and registration charges, Maharashtra has already announced that they're going to lower the stamp duty and registration. All governments are actually making an effort to make sure that the consumer comes back, because, like Sudhir said, this is an economic indicator industry and it's very important to sustain it, because 6% of the GDP depends on it. Sudhir, there is, even though I said last query, there is one gentleman called Munish Arora who says this is a question for Sudhir Pai. So let me pose the query to you. Will there be an increase in prices from the seller side for furnished properties, since its demand might increase, whereas there might be further decrease in prices for unfurnished properties? Will it not widen the gap in prices based on furnished and unfurnished? Though it's not related to our query, it's directed only to you, so I thought you may want to address this.
Jayashree, can you just repeat that once? I lost part of it.
Furnished and unfurnished properties, do you see furnished properties demand going up and unfurnished properties remaining static?
Well, I don't think there's any data to suggest that. I think overwhelmingly the demand is more for unfurnished homes. Furnished homes, of course, segments like PG, service apartments, etc., have done well in the last 18 months, and I think there will be a fair amount of homes that get sucked up in that segment. But otherwise, no, there is no indication as of now, basis data on the side, that there is any tilt in favor of furnished homes.
And I would like to address all the consumers who have stayed with us or are still posting queries, that we do take your comments very seriously. We will make an effort to answer every one of your queries, and we'll post it back on our site. Keep watching this space and we'll let you know. But some of the key indicators, there is a silver lining. About 25% people do want to buy properties in the next 3 to 6 months, which is good news for the developers. Please construct, please complete, because consumers want ready to move in properties. Price protection is an important thing, because consumers are looking for that kind of price protection. If the price falls, should I buy today? Should I book today? And Surbi says yes. Book today. Developers who are giving price protection will succeed. Also, locality is very important. Surbi has emphasized it again and again. If it's near your house, if it's near your office or your place of work, if it is livable, if it has good connectivity, if it is safe, these are some of the issues that she has called out. Look for the locality very carefully. Use this time of lockdown to do your research, because that is something that will help you buy the right deal. And like Sudhir says, please go ahead and demand aggressively, because you are in the driver's seat. Sudhir, closing comments from you?
I think we're going to see a very interesting time
So I think
from here on. Yeah, Surabhi, you carry on.
So I was just saying that, the concluding remark is, over the last 15, 20 years, I am looking at the market, and the market is holding ground for 15, 20 years. And I believe it will hold, because home ownership is important for most of the Indians. of us, and people are looking to buy. So demand will quickly come back, as I feel.
Right.
Okay, so what I was saying was, I think we're going to see interesting times. One, we're going to see sellers respond to a slightly reduced demand in the market. We're also going to see a lot of innovations in the market, because I think there's already a lot of talk around how to do contactless site visits, how to do remote viewings, how to move more and more processes to digital. And similarly, on the owner as well as buyer side, you should expect to see a lot of innovations. So like always, I think disruptive times like these hopefully bring out the best in people. And we hope that by the time the dust settles down, we will be better off as an industry than where we were when the crisis started. Thank you, Jayesh.
Thank you. And thank you, both of you, for joining us. Thank you, consumers, for joining us. Keep watching this space because MBTV is bringing you all the latest trends and all the latest in real estate. So keep watching MBTV. Thank you.
Thank you.